code ROAM on PrizePicks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Aloha, Mr. Hyde.
And welcome in there, everybody. It is Sports Daily. Jacob Albrecht here with you on this Wednesday, of course. It is a Hawaiian shirt Wednesday. I am in here solo for most of the day here. TJ is driving down to, or up to, I should say, Big 12 Media Day. So we'll have TJ. He'll hop on a little bit later this hour. We'll preview a little bit of what he's looking for at Media Day up in Kansas City today. But we've got you jam-packed with some great guests today. Kevin Saal, Wichita State Athletic Director, is going to join us later in this hour. In just a few minutes, he'll get us ready for all the bells and whistles of a Shocker basketball season that will begin sooner than we realize. Sooner than, I don't want to say not sooner than we're ready, because we're all ready for it, but it's here, man. And we'll get you all caught up on everything happening in Shocker athletics with Kevin Saal. We've got Shreyas Laddha in the next hour. Of course, he can also chime in on KU basketball as it's Big 12 Media Days. But I want, of course, we're getting ready for a Sunflower Showdown game. Some keys from him on the KU side to finally snap that streak as KU fans hope to take down K-State. Of course, K-State wants to just keep on trucking with it. And it was an interesting weekend in the Big 12 in the football world. Kind of the door is cracked open for both teams. So we'll get all of those things with Shreyas Laddha as well. And then we thought we'd bring in today, as we get ready for a World Series, our Royals insider, Jaylon Thompson, to sort of preview a Royals offseason. Maybe he'll chime in on some of the things we were talking about yesterday with the challenges of a team that can spend like the Dodgers. But we'll get into all of that with Jaylon Thompson in the next hour as well. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Yumkin Pumpkin Ale, WBC's most popular seasonal beer. It's made with actual pumpkin and served with a spiced rim. Yumkin Pumpkin now available at Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. It is a wild and crazy time of the sports season. We had the NBA get started last night with a couple of games. Oklahoma City defends the opening salvo there in a double overtime win against Houston, 125-124. It's an interesting matchup. Houston, one of the teams I think people feel can challenge them. Of course, they'll be without Fred VanVleet, which is a huge bummer for us, the former Shocker, and for Rocket fans, but they still have a good squad there in Houston. But Oklahoma City holds serve there at home. And then you had a Golden State Lakers game in a nightcap, but the NBA season is now underway if you didn't have enough to try to pay attention to. That is happening. Always your comments, your commentary, welcome here on this show. You can get in touch with us at 869-1240. Of course, that is the number to call. Max has it for you. You can get in touch with us through the video streams. Everywhere they're available to you. Whether you're watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, or on X, you can chime in that way. Leave your comments, leave your commentary. We can take that right here over the air. Also, thanks to those listening to us, of course, on 12 News Connected. And then if you're listening to us on the Odyssey app, even if you're listening to the podcast right now, if you want to chime in on something and fire in on a comment, you can click the little microphone there, and it gives you the opportunity to send a voicemail. And if you send the voicemail, we can get that anytime. So we can always get to those if they are relevant and anything else. So do that, and we'll get your comments right there over there. It is a Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday, so I can't give anybody a hard time for not participating today. Max does his part. He's got usually his Hawaii 5-0 shirts on. He's playing us a little island music here. Kevin Saal, maybe he's maybe he's in on the fun. I don't know. We'll ask him. He's coming in next. Max, you rocking your shirt today? You participating? Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday? Max is. We'll kind of look at in any of our free time. There's not much today. We'll look at this NFL trade deadline coming up. There are a lot of impactful players potentially on the block here. Everybody's got eyes on the Jets right now because they have, of course, some really good players on a bad team that could be on the move. Most notably for us, Breece Hall, the Wichita Northwest grad. We'll see if he can potentially find a landing spot finally in a place that's not so seemingly dysfunctional. You've got talented players like Jacoby Myers, who wanted a trade before the season started. Well, they're not very good. So maybe he becomes a player of interest for a lot of teams. He's been a really good player. That's one to watch. How about Trey Hendrickson and the rumors that have been swirling about the Cincinnati pass rusher? Now, remember, they won their last game, so it'll be interesting to see if they ever have any interest to trade him. They've got to get Joe Burrow back. Flacco gave him just a little bit of life, a little bit of juice in that win over the Steelers. But what if a guy like Trey Hendrickson is on the market? Speaking of edge rushers, rumors yesterday, Trey Wingo floated out there that the Cowboys have been kicking the tires with the Raiders on Max Crosby. Now, a lot of reporting after that the Raiders are not interested in trading Max Crosby, but it tells you that the Cowboys are interested in a big-time defensive player. It's sort of funny that they would be interested in anybody at that position since they let Micah Parsons walk. But, Micah Parsons reset the market. Micah Parsons, didn't have all the agreements. Maybe they still are willing to spend a bunch of money on an edge rusher. So we'll watch that. If Hendrickson's on the block, he would obviously become an option there too. So there are big names out there potentially that could be moved at this trade deadline. Now, as it pertains to the Chiefs, I don't really think they need anything. Now, the only thing I think you could point to and say, yeah, they could use that. They could use a pass rusher, but I don't think that's really in the cards, quite frankly, especially after the injury to Omar Norman Lott. But maybe they could find some kind of depth at pass rusher. I don't think that would be a splash type of move, though. The only other thing I can think of is with the offensive line playing so well, but now just a little bit shaky because of some issues with Josh Simmons and his availability, and then potential injuries to Juwan Taylor and Trey Smith that could linger on. It makes you wonder if maybe they would have any interest in trying to find some offensive line depth. But I do think they like their offensive line depth. Now that Kingsley Suamataia has found his place, Wanye Morris can sort of play everything. They already have Caliendo. They probably feel okay about it. But we'll see if the Chiefs are interested in any moves ahead of the NFL trade deadline. And right now, look, the trade deadline in football is not as guaranteed necessarily as basketball or baseball. We've seen it, I feel like, a little bit more active in the last few years, but we're just a couple weeks away from it. It's Tuesday, November 4th, and we probably will see players traded. We probably will see impactful players traded. Remember, we've already seen a Joe Flacco trade this year in the NFL. It feels like teams never traded in the NFL 10, 15 years ago and before that. And then here lately, they've been more inclined to do in-season trades. So we'll keep our eye on that. We'll keep our ear to the ground as far as the Chiefs. They'll begin practicing a little bit later this week because of Monday Night Football. And, of course, on the other side, with all the injuries to the Commanders, we'll have that for you as well. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up here this morning. Kevin Saal joins next as we have a jam-packed show of guests today on Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And we do have Kevin Saal with us. Before that, I want to tell you that Sports Talk on KFH, presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much. You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We are joined, as we are every other week here, by Wichita State Athletic Director Kevin Saal. Kevin, welcome in. How are you this morning? Happy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday.
Good morning, Jacob. How are you? Favorite day of the week, Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday.
That's right. That's right. We get things going. Kevin participated when we were out at the fair earlier this summer. Always appreciate everybody, especially as the weather turns a little colder. There's something to waking up. It's a little chilly outside, and kind of throwing the bird to Mother Nature that we're not ready for winter yet. We refuse to seed, and we're going to throw on a Hawaiian shirt and just get through it that way. It takes
a little extra level of commitment. That's for sure.
That's right. That's right. Kevin, it's a wild time of the year. It's sort of the transitional time from the fall to the winter as far as the sports schedules. It's been a fun off season. I think an off season that's got a lot of buzz. The Shockers and we'll start with men's basketball. A charity scrimmage is in the books. We've got Shocker Madness in the books. This time in a couple of weeks, they will have just played the opener against UNC Asheville. It always feels like it sneaks up on it, but man, it's coming quick.
Well, we've been looking forward to it for sure. So that first week in November, we launch it off. Our women's basketball starts October 29th. So that's actually a week from today. We get the women going, and then shortly thereafter, we get the men going. So it's been a good off season. A lot of positives, as you mentioned, a lot of buzz. I had the open scrimmage against Drake, and we played Santa Clara in Denver, a really good Santa Clara team in Denver this past Saturday. So these open scrimmages have really given us a great opportunity to learn more about our team, to prepare and get better before game one, probably in a different way, in a better way than we've ever had before. So really enjoy these open scrimmages against competitive D1 opponents.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Especially in the current landscape, when you've got as much roster turnover, and everybody has it. It's nice to just get out there with, I don't know if they're live bullets, but they're pretty close. As close as you're going to get before you actually can play a game. Is there much difference? I wonder to your eye between a scrimmage and an exhibition game against, maybe a smaller school that's just having some fun, a Division II or Division III or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of a difference. So I equate the first segment against Drake, where we did what are called offense, defense, offense drills. Basically, each coach will come in with 15 sets that are scripted, running against the other team. And so you get almost like a football team that might script out plays on their first or second drive, just to kind of see and feel how that looks. And so they script those out. That one feels a little bit more like a spring football game. And you learn a lot. You get some things on video, plays you want to target. And then we played, I think it was 3 20-minute periods of regular gameplay, and that feels a little bit more like a game. The first two, we chose to go a little deeper in the first 20-minute segment against Drake, whereas they kept their roster to about 7. So probably the 7 that they're going to use, 7 or 8. And then we flipped it in the second period. We kept ours to about 7 or 8, and they opened up their bench a little bit. So each coach is going to attack it a little differently. So in that way, a little bit different. Santa Clara was a little closer to a full game scrimmage. They played 4 12-minute segments and attacked it in similar ways. So in that way, Jacob, those scrimmages, it really depends on what the coach is coming in trying to learn, and then staying disciplined with the plan. Coach Mills approached both the early segments of Drake and Santa Clara as feeling really good about our top 8, wanting to learn a whole lot more about 9 through 15. And so I think those scrimmages give you an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. And it's good to get out there and see this team. Have you been feeling the same way that, some of the things we'd heard from the TBT guys and the coaches in the off season? And we'll get Coach Mills in here, by the way, for the listeners. We're still at a little bit of a practice conflict this early in the morning, but we'll get that settled out here pretty quick. But did you get the same vibe that you were hearing about the attitude of this team and, the makeup character wise? Did you get the same thing seeing the scrimmages as we were hearing all off season?
Yeah. What we heard from the TBT players and then Zach Bush was that we were, as Zach had shared, that we were as well prepared defensively as he's seen a Shocker team that early on, that we did not, his words, not mine, that we did not miss one pick and roll coverage against the TBT team. So that was really positive, and it speaks to some defensive strengths. The players and Zach talked about a physicality that there was no fear at all in our guys, and they met physical with equally or more so physical. And I think we've seen that as well. What we learn a little bit more in the scrimmages is, in run of game play, we've got 4 guys that shot 40% or better from 3 last year at their previous institutions. Is that starting to play out? The 2 versatile bigs, is that starting to play out? We led the league in rebounding last year, and we aspire to do that every year. So, you pick up some data points in these scrimmages where in one of those 20-minute segments, we got every single defensive rebound that was possible against Drake. I think Noah Hill pulled down 9 rebounds in the 12 to 15 minutes that he played, and he is an absolute physical beast. He loves to play, really talented. He is exceptionally gifted physically, and he wants to dunk the ball every time he can possibly dunk the ball. And that's a good trait and quality to have. Emmanuel, Will, I think we've got some versatile bigs that can do some different things. So long story short, I think it does affirm some of the things that we heard from TBT, but you're a little bit more prescriptive in terms of how you attack that and trying to learn more about your personnel and then your capabilities from a team perspective. So it's been a good couple of scrimmages, and I know the guys are looking forward to getting to the season.
Kevin Saal, Wichita State Athletic Director, joining us here on Sports Daily. Shockers picked 5th in the preseason coaches poll from the AAC. That was out just a little less than 2 weeks ago. So 5th feels healthy, feels comfortable. And then we see Kenyon Giles get named to the preseason all-conference first team, first Shocker, I believe, since Tyson Etienne. So look, the coaches, they like the makeup too. I think it's a little different when you see a coaches poll versus maybe a media poll this time of year, especially with all the turnover. The coaches know these players. And I do think it's probably a good thing that the league coaches see the collection and think highly of the Shockers to put them up as high as 5 with all the questions. Hell, we didn't know where they were going to get placed in this kind of a thing. And it's a preseason poll, and you can take from it what you will, but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, if there's a population set that understands personnel maybe better than anybody, no offense to the local, regional, or national media, but our coaches are living recruiting in the portal day in and day out. And so they have a really keen understanding of the talent that's on each roster. And so I think that it is indicative, but again, Jacob, you and I both know you could go back and look at last year's preseason poll and then align it with where the season ended. And there's just so many variables along the journey that rarely do those line up. And certainly we aspire to be exceed and excel beyond 5th in the league. We believe we've got a good club. Jacob, we've talked a little bit on your show. We've got our cheapest season ticket in 15 years. We just unveiled our cheapest single game ticket pricing in the last decade. We've got a home schedule, 17 games. 9 of those are on the weekend. That's the first time in the last decade that we've had 9 weekend games. 7 of those are on Saturdays, which is the first time since 03-04. So there's great value in the ticket. Overall, our tickets have decreased about 27.5%, and our premium lower bowl ticket has decreased 40%. And I say all those things because, Jacob, we all understand that this new era of college athletics is a much more expensive, much more competitive era. And we're trying to thread a very thin needle here in terms of making our games accessible, affordable. We all want a packed Coke Arena. And so within a climate of a much more expensive place to live and work and compete, we're trying to make it more reasonable financially for our fans to get in Koch Arena. And why do we do that? Because we keenly understand that we're going to win as a community, and the Shockers need their community.
Yeah, listen, I get it. We've got some businesses. I know things are tight right now, and it's a tight rope. And hopefully, the TBT gives us an indication that some early season success can lead to big things for Wichita State. Let's switch gears a little bit, Kevin. It's also, as you mentioned, soon to be the start of Shocker women's basketball. It has not been, the season that I know Terry Nooner would have wanted the last couple of years. What can you tell us about the Shocker women and any buzz going into their season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to quickly recap the last couple of years, both have been 10-win seasons. And I think the interesting part, if you go back and look at year one, I think from a character and integrity standpoint, it's absolutely the right decision to maintain your commitments with the young women and on your roster when you make a coaching change. And we certainly did that. There is an argument to be made from a competitive standpoint, and plenty of coaches are doing it in the country where they sweep the roster and start over day one, and that didn't feel right with the women in our program. So we felt like from a character and integrity standpoint, we needed to do that, and we're playing the long game here. We're not trying to just flash in the pan, win for a season, and then start all over. So they did a nice job recruiting between year one and year two. I thought our talent level. I know our talent level was better in the second year. We struggled a little bit culturally, I think, in the locker room and the competitiveness that we needed. And Terry and the staff have spent a significant amount of time this summer outlining core values and principles for the program. What are the expectations in terms of behavior and the type of players that we're going to be? What does it mean to be a Shocker and represent Wichita State? And infusing that into our women's basketball program. I know that we have upgraded the roster from a talent perspective. I've been to numerous practices, and that's relatively easy to see. I think you guys would draw the same conclusion. That in combination, I think, with the cultural investments that have been made this summer, we anticipate and expect a higher win total this year, and I think that's certainly possible. So it's a good group. It's an athletic group. They like to run. Terry likes to play the run and pressing game all 90 feet, and I think we'll have some success doing that. He's got some depth. We've got a couple of shooters that I think will make you pay if you don't pay attention there. And then we've got enough on the inside that I think we'll do some damage there. And so October 29th is the opener for the women. The women's season ticket is $50. You can't get into a movie with a family of four and do your popcorn and soda for less than $100. So it's a great value. I think you'll enjoy watching this team. So we encourage Shocker Nation to get out and watch women's basketball as well.
That gets started here quickly. The exhibition against Newman is coming in a week, and then Monday, November 3rd, against Lincoln. The Shockers get that season started. Real quickly, Kevin, volleyball, tough one. Man, just a tough one against Rice for Wichita State. But they get him again. That's all right. We look up and down the AAC standings right now, and you've got more insight on where it needs to be as far as winning the league versus at large or anything like that. But they're still right there, just a couple of games now behind the top teams who all have a loss in the conference. But it's still there for the Shockers. They get matchups against those teams. I believe all three of them, maybe not Tulsa, but a good opportunity for the Shockers to still go take it.
We're sitting at 5-3, and the leaders in the league are 7-1. So we're certainly within striking distance. As you mentioned, we've beaten teams that we needed to beat. We've got an important weekend this weekend, and certainly looking forward to that. We host Tulane on Friday night at 7, and then we've got North Texas at 1:00 on Sunday. And if you look at the standings, we're tied at 5-3 with North Texas. That's important. Tulane's 1-7, so that's one you got to pick up. So we got an opportunity to go out and get a couple of matches this weekend and do a nice job there and hopefully close the gap. We've got plenty of opportunities against Rice and South Florida. We've played our two matches against Tulsa home and away a couple of weekends ago and dropped both of those. But the Sunday Rice match is an indication that we can compete with anybody in this league. And Allie Paulson did a nice job, got Defensive Player of the Week. We seem to be having a player of the week in a particular category almost every week. So we've got some good talent on the roster. We can make a nice run here this back half of the season.
And then before we let you go, Kevin, I wanted to ask you about this, the tortilla gate down at Texas Tech. Have you been in a situation as an administrator? I think this stuff's crazy. Like, just let them throw some tortillas and be done with it. Try to organize the chaos a little bit. You're only going to make it worse. And it, of course, has gotten worse and more intense. Have you ever been in a situation where the fans are doing something at some tradition and you've had to try to calm them down? Because it seems like it never works, whether it's Sandstorm at K-State or tortillas at Texas Tech. Have you run into this before?
Yeah, I think these are really difficult and for a good reason, cultural changes to make within fan bases. I think the closest thing that I could get to on that, Jacob, is you remember shortly after 9/11, the move was basically to go bagless into stadiums, right? And to not allow, I remember at this point in time, the Big 12 was talking about league-wide not doing pass outs and re-entry. And I was working at Kansas State at that time. And we all understand the history of that football program, and steeped in that history and tradition was being able to go out in the parking lot and tailgate, particularly when the football program was down in the 70s and 80s. And so I remember one conversation specifically where the Big 12 talking about shutting down pass outs and re-entry, and the administration at K-State at that point in time said, well, that's fine. We'll just move our stadium gates out to the edges of the parking lot, and we'll call our stadium parking lot and the stadium. So, it's like, man, you as an administrator, you really want to accommodate your fans. You do. And as I mentioned on our ticket prices with season tickets and single games, man, Shocker Nation is speaking and we're listening. That's why we're doing those things, because we want to make it easier. We want to make it accommodating and welcome for people to be there. So those cultural changes are tough, and some institutions decide just to eat the fines. When you're throwing out tortillas, I think you can affect change maybe a little bit more when you start penalizing teams competitively. And unfortunately, you don't want to get to that spot, but that's where league officials do. And certainly it'll evolve over time, and traditions can change and evolve. And it's been an interesting one to watch, but nothing specific like that. But certainly you're very concerned when decisions are made that impact the unique cultural components of your home games, and you want to try to protect them as long as you can.
Yeah, it's something. Just leave them alone. Just let them throw the tortilla. I don't think most people even knew they did it. I think they were put in a tough spot. Hopefully it doesn't cost them any games. They look pretty good this year. Kevin, enjoy it. We are getting close. We're right up against it here. Shocker basketball will be going, men and women, in just a couple of weeks. It's a fun time of year. Go to GoShockers.com. Find your tickets. We appreciate it, Kevin. Happy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday.
All right, guys. Thanks for having us on. Go Shockers.
There goes Kevin Saal, Wichita State Athletic Director. Oh, yeah. I don't know if we ever even talked about. Now they've banned it. They had like a media conference, and they have apparently banned the tortillas and down in Lubbock, and we'll see how that goes. I don't envision it going perfectly smooth. We'll see how they handle it. When we come back, we're going to talk with TJ. He is on the road to KC to get ready for Big 12 Media Days. So he'll join us and discuss what he's looking for, some of the storylines he's following. It's Sports Daily on a Wednesday. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, here to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrecht with you, joined now by TJ Cleland. K-State football, the focus tonight on the Chris Kleiman Show. Tune in to 97.5 and 1240 KFH at 7 for some Wildcat football talk. Listen online at kfhradio.com. Download the free Odyssey app. Search for KFH. We got TJ in with us here. TJ, you are headed to Big 12 Media Days. Women were yesterday. If you missed any of Rachel Hallam's reporting from the Women's Media Day, you can go to kwch.com and check that out. TJ's headed up for the men today in Kansas City. How's it going this morning? You there, TJ?
Nope, I got you. Sorry, you cut out there for a second. I imagine you asked me if I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I am not wearing a Hawaiian shirt. In fact, I'm sorry about that.
I didn't even waste my time. I knew you weren't wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and I just wasn't even gonna waste my time with it. But that's neither here nor there. You're headed up. You're gonna chat with KU. You're gonna chat with K-State. Are there any other? Do we have any other storylines from the other schools this year? We don't, do we?
Not nothing major or anything like that. No new developments, no local guys or anything like that. Just kind of the usual. I'm definitely excited to chat. BYU talking about AJ DeVance is going to be there, number 2 player in the country. Who's played against Darren Peterson a ton. I think will be a cool storyline here. The Grant McCaslin of the coaching tree that Paul Mills grew up in and Jerome Tang grew up in. The interesting angle is always from him. Everything like that. Other than that, though, just a lot of new faces for KU and K-State. They've got a lot of new storylines.
Yeah, well, a lot of new faces everywhere. We can start with K-State. Both of these schools they're not starting from scratch, but it kind of feels like they're starting from scratch. K-State is building around a guy who CBS Sports called a preseason All-American last year, PJ Haggerty. We're familiar with Haggerty. He's there today. Yes, he's there for K-State.
Yep, you will be.
I just wonder, if he does what he does with Jerome Tang. We've said this before. Man, it feels like the fit is the right fit for where Tang has been the most successful, which is to get really good guards to ISO and attack the basket. It worked in his first year. We saw some of their more recent success when they had it, although it was wildly inconsistent with Doug McDaniel, but it kind of, that in those years as Doug went, sort of, so did K-State. So, it feels like Haggerty can be that guy for Jerome Tang.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Jerome Tang, whenever you watch a basketball game, he runs concepts and has ideas of what he wants these guys to do, and they do, those things on the break and everything like that, and get in the right spots. But after that, he's not the kind of guy that's going to slow everything down, set a high pick, get into some off-ball action, really cook things up on a whiteboard. He really trusts his guards. And, you think back to what Marquise Noel did. You think about what Tyler Perry did for K-State. Haggerty is just like those guys. He's, smaller, undersized guard who he's had every single year now because of Doug McDaniel last year as well. But, we've seen what he did at Memphis. He scored 40 points against the Shockers in that conference tournament. And Memphis does the same thing. Memphis doesn't sit down and draw up a bunch of high picks and everything of that nature as well. So he's got experience working an offense where he can kind of just go out and cook at his will. And Jerome Tang trusts his guys. As he says, he's got dudes. And PJ Haggerty is a real dude. He feels like he could fit in perfectly. And if that's the case, they've got some new pieces around him that can help out as well.
Yeah, look, I agree. And he's probably a more gifted scorer, and Marquise Noel became this force largely because his ability to shoot and do all those things. But Haggerty, going into a season, Haggerty's as gifted as any of those guys, or more, probably more so, to be perfectly honest.
Haggerty was I think he was the top scorer in the entire country last year, if I'm not mistaken. If not, he was top 3 or top 5. Yeah. He put up points. There was a point where he definitely was the top scorer in the entire country. And so just to see what he did with Penny Hardaway at Memphis, he was doing this whenever he was at Tulsa. He was the AAC Freshman of the Year. And so, he's not scared to put them up, and he makes a lot of them.
He does make a lot of them, and they'll have to make up for some defensive deficiencies that he also brings to the table. And that's up to the rest of the roster, which will be, something to ask about, I guess. If Haggerty's role is so clearly defined, then to me, the big question becomes, what about everybody else, right? Everybody else has now these roles that we have to figure out outside of Haggerty. I have no idea what their team is going to be and who are going to be the players that step up. Wyatt Thompson really likes the international flavor, but we don't know. What do you ask today to try to figure that out? Does Jerome Tang have 5? He's not going to tell you yes.
Yeah, he's not going to tell you. He's not going to tell you everything that you want to know. But something that we mentioned whenever we talked to Wyatt Thompson a couple of weeks ago when we first started to kind of turning gears to basketball season is that I'm in the same camp that he was in the fact of when this roster was being built. Abdi Bashir from Monmouth, he was a guy that was on a lot of guys' radar. KU wanted Abdi Bashir, and a lot of people thought KU was going to get him. And then all of a sudden he flips to K-State and lands there. And then it's like, oh, well, he's going to be their best player. And then they land another guy. It's like, oh, well, he might be their best player. And then they just keep at these guys like, this is going to be a pretty solid starting five. And the last guy they had was the top scorer in the entire country, P.J. Haggerty. So it's like, nobody knows what this team's going to look like. They've got a lot of guys that, could be number one options, and they're going to have to figure out how those mesh with each other. But I think that, Abdi Bashir is one of the top shooters in the entire transfer portal. Andre Kostic, the guy from overseas that Wyatt Thompson thinks is a better shooter than what Brendan Austin was. Obviously can score the ball as well. He was awesome overseas, is what we heard. And then all the rest of the guys that they've added to kind of fill in around those three. I think those will kind of be the big three, in my opinion. Obviously, Dave Castillo's back. He's going to be a big piece off the bench, I imagine. He's still, younger, only a sophomore this season. Moby Ike Garuka's back. He's going to be a media day today as well. He was a junior college guy who really surprised the people last year. And he's just uber athletic. So I think that when you have this many guys that are going to be outside threats, I think that they will be. I think that having somebody like him inside the other guys that they brought in down low will help out there as well. But it's gonna be interesting. I think that there will be some experimentation of who's gonna be the five, who's gonna be rotated in. I mean, they're gonna run a top 8, if they're gonna run a top 10. What they're gonna do? They play Friday night. They have the scrimmage at Mizzou, and that's an opportunity to really learn some things.
I forgot about Castillo. That's a good name. And then on the KU side, look, everybody's paying attention to Darren Peterson. He's gonna be there today. It's gonna be fun to have he and BYU's superstar freshman sort of in the same room a little bit. But KU's not getting a lot of love. I mean, they're getting, I think it's very fair where they've been placed, but not a ton of love. I don't know. This will be, I assume, your first chance to catch up with Darren Peterson. But what do you look for in a freshman that's in that environment? Obviously, he's going to be a good player. Can you learn something in like character makeup or confidence or anything when you put him behind a microphone and on that kind of stage for the first time? He'll have attention, not just from, the local media. He'll probably have some attention here now this week from the national media.
This is going to be the one where it's annoying how many people are random. You're going to have to scream at the top of your lungs to try to get a question in time for media scrub for the Jayhawks this week. I think that he's proven time and time again, every time you put him behind a microphone, the confidence that he has. Every time you put his head coach behind a microphone, the confidence that he has in him. This is the highest that Bill Self has ever talked about a freshman ever. Bill Self didn't talk this way about Andrew Wiggins. Bill Self didn't talk this way about whoever you want to name on this list. It's not how he didn't talk this way about Corey Baduga, who was a 5-star. He was like a top 10 player KU's ever got. Darren Peterson is the second highest rated player ever in KU history, and he's really close to being number one for 247 Sports there. So he's got a lot of trust in him from his head coach. He's taken it in stride. And from every account that we've seen so far, whether it be the national media that are going to practice and watching him play, the late night in the fog. I mean, late night in the fog, I think I saw the box score. He went like 12 of 15 shooting and scored 24 points. So that shows you the volume he's going to play in and the volume that he's going to make shots in.
He's going to be a star, and they're going to need other people to be stars too. That's the thing about KU this year is we have known the same things about KU. I mean, we for 3 years, we kind of knew what KU was going to be and do. And now we don't really have a clue, right? Peterson's going to be a star. I think we all understand and expect that. But is he really going to take 20 shots a game? Like, what else does this team do? What else do they look like? Flory isn't some offensive force yet. He could take a step forward. But if it's not Peterson, who do you think is the offense this year? Who provides it for KU?
I think the biggest thing about this KU team is that they're going to be more athletic than they were last year.
For sure.
Bill Self, that's going to be a change in Bill Self. He's had athletic teams, but Bill Self does thrive in the X's and O's and set plays up. And, he got so many looks for Hunter Dickinson the past couple of years from setting up set plays for him and everything like that. That's what Bill Self does really well. That's why he's one of the best coaches in the entire country. This year, he's going to have the option that they're going to be able to run like K-State does. They're going to be able to run like Wichita State wants to do last year. Just get up and down the court. Darren Peterson is super athletic. Flory is one of the fastest big men in the entire country. You think about Melvin Council, you think about Trey White. All these guys are are going to be super athletic and everything of that nature. So I don't think that they're going to be quite as set in stone of what they want to do on offense and saying, we're going to slow down, we're going to make sure we get a steal from Mr. Dickinson, we're going to get this. I think that they are going to be able to get up and down and run. And from that, I think that there'll be offense that grows. And I think that, not to just keep pounding on the Darren Peterson train, but I think it's just going to be all up to him of where the ball goes at that point. But I think that they're going to run fast and see how fast they can get buckets up. I think it's going to be a really fun, stark difference of what we've seen the past couple of years. That's the most exciting part to me.
I just don't want fans to downplay, and I know that it was time for a change, and I believe that too, but I don't want fans to downplay the ease at which they were able to get, 16, 18 points or more from Hunter Dickinson. Like, that's a big hole in the offense that'll be interesting to see them fill. TJ, you'll be getting the answers to all those questions. TJ will have all of his reporting beginning at 4 o'clock today, all the way through the 10 o'clock news. So more than you can handle there from Media Days. You can go to kwch.com and check it out. Of course, if you're not seeing it, you can see the live streams of the newscast, the same place you can watch this show on 12 News Connected. Enjoy it. Media days are fun. I like media days. It makes you feel like we're close, and we are close. We're a couple weeks away from college basketball season, and as unknown a college basketball season, especially for KU fans, as we've had in a while. Enjoy it up there today, TJ.
I will. I got bad news, Jacob. I might miss lunch today. I forgot my watch at home. I don't know what time it's going to be all day long. It's a bad day, but I'll be all right.
Good thing that phone tethered to your hip has a clock on it. You'll be fine. You'll be all right.
I'll try.
Just ask Bill Self what time it is when you're there. TJ, drive safe. We will talk to you on the air here later this afternoon. There goes TJ on his way to Big 12 Media Days. Lots of questions for KU and K-State. It'll be a fun Big 12 Media Day. Before we take a break and get you into the next hour here of Sports Daily, an hour that'll feature Shreyas Laddha, we'll get his take on KU and what that might look like. Also, of course, preview the Sunflower Showdown on Saturday. Can we call it Saturday morning if it's before noon? I think we can. So we'll get that. And Jaylon Thompson's going to hop in as well in the next hour to get us ready for a Royals off season, get his take on the World Series, his take on a lot of things in Major League Baseball, but mostly the Royals and what the plan is for them this offseason. Hey, thank you to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. I am indeed going to go play 9 holes of golf today. One of the great things, if you're a golfer, is the ease in which you can squeeze it into the time you have available. Give Crestview a call. Ask them about all the different memberships that they have this time of year. Maybe even get a great deal. Tell them we sent you here from Sports Daily. We're coming back for another hour of Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Aloha, Mr. Had.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily here. It is a Hawaiian shirt Wednesday. Glad to be with you. Glad to be celebrating. We will... we'll let Mother Nature know in the ways that we can that we're not quite ready for this change in the seasons this year. Not even a little bit, quite frankly. Thank you. We will go ahead and ask for the warm weather. We're starting to look ahead to the Halloween season as well, and we can officially get it into our 10-day forecast now. Here we go. This is what all the parents out there are really waiting for. Halloween, of course, next Friday. We finally get the luxury of getting Halloween on a Friday. Halloween needs to be placed to the last Saturday in October, and I will fight to the death on that. There's no reason we're having Halloween on a Tuesday night in some years. But this year we're okay. We got it on a Friday night, and we are getting ready to go trick-or-treating. And maybe it wasn't going to be the ideal perfect situation we thought it might be last week at this time when it was still very warm outside, but it's looking respectable. It looks okay for the Halloween. Looks okay for the Halloween season. Right now, it's at 60 degrees, mostly sunny. So, look, if we're in the, by the time the sun goes down and the kiddos are out there, if we're in the 50s, it's a win. As long as we don't have to. I mean, the goal for the kids is to want to cover up the Halloween costumes now. Max, Halloween. How are you with Halloween? I haven't really dressed up or celebrated Halloween as an adult in a long, long time because of the kids. Are you a Halloween guy, Max?
Nah, too old. Once you get past a certain age, Jacob, nah, too old.
Listen, Halloween people don't care about age. They're crazy. Whether it's getting your house ready, getting ready for trick-or-treaters, that kind of thing. I don't think it's an age thing with Halloween. I think it's just a general motivation. Halloween's never really been a big one for. I've never really like the two holidays for me that can be, big party holidays that I've never really been able to get motivated for. Halloween, and believe it or not, the New Year. Like New Year's parties to me are always just kind of like I've grown to like smaller New Year's gatherings instead of like the big New Year's bash. But Halloween's that way too. Like the big costume party, it's just a lot of work. And when you're younger and you're just trying to like play drinking games and doing all that stuff, your costume's just in the way all the time. I don't know. I have grown to love and appreciate Halloween though. Now with kids, it's way more fun when the kids are getting hyped up for it. We've got, let's see,
your kids are young, right?
Yeah. We're fifth, third, and first grade, so everybody still loves it.
Free candy for dad.
That's right. We get we try to, we're good parents, which means we let them bring a whole bunch home and then not eat all of it so we can. As any good red-blooded American parent would do. That candy's bad for you. Leave it here. No, you only get a couple of pieces a day, which in reality just means we get to eat a bunch of it. We've got a duck and the witch from the new movies, the new Wizard of Oz movies, and a Batman, I think, is what we've got this year. So we're pretty excited. We're pretty fired up for it. I'm just fired up that it's on a Friday night and we don't have to get the kids all loaded up on candy and then try to get them up the next day for school. It's always such a brutal turn. So hope everybody is ready to have a happy Halloween out there. On tap this hour, we have Shreyas Laddha coming up in just a little bit. He'll get us a look on the KU side of things for the Sunflower Showdown Saturday. Also, get us ready for KU basketball. It is media day. We just talked to TJ about what he's looking for. We'll ask Shreyas some of those same kinds of questions. He's got boots on the ground there just about every day. What's he seeing? What's he hearing about the rest of the roster? We're all excited about Darren Peterson, but a freshman by himself is not going to lead KU to the places that they want to be. So what else are we seeing from that roster? So we'll have Shreyas in. We'll have Jaylon Thompson in, who is our Royals insider. We haven't talked to Jaylon in a few weeks, really since the season ended. Now as the dust is settling and we're learning some things, we got the World Series starting Friday. What should fans reasonably expect from the Royals this offseason? What is an expectation that's attainable? What should be the benchmark? What should be the baseline? And then, maybe some best case scenarios. There's also Royals news happening, it seems like every day in the last couple of weeks with the stadium. A couple of different places have felt more confident, it seems, at least in what their leaders are saying, both on the Kansas and Missouri side. So we'll get what Jaylon perhaps is hearing on a new stadium and where that might be. So we'll have those questions answered with him as well. Your calls and comments always welcome. Max has the hotline at 869-1240. If you have a question for any of our guests, by the way, it's easy to just leave us comments there, and we can push those through and ask those questions for you. So you can, and a perfect example, Rick brings up as we're getting ready to talk KU hoops in a little bit, that they shot 2 of 15 from the 3 at late night at the Fog. Is that anything to worry about? We'll ask that, Rick. I'll ask that to Shreyas. So you can get those comments in on all of our video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, all those different places. You can reach out to us directly or to the guest directly on X as well. You can find me at KWCH Jacob. Thanks to those watching us on 12 News Connected as well and listening to us on the Odyssey app. It's all brought to you, by the way, this hour by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring the Cooperstown Pizza with a sriracha cream cheese base and topped with chicken, bacon, mushrooms, and mozzarella. The Cooperstown now available in a lunch or full size at Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. It's a good question, Max. I know you're a big pizza guy. I know we have lamented about some of the great pizza in New York City. I think you and I are aligned in the thin crust variety.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you this because this is an interesting one. I generally, for a long time, only preferred, the tomato sauce on a pizza. I don't mind all the different toppings and stuff, but I needed tomato sauce. I will tell you, though, that Wichita Brewing Company is a place that has made me grow on both a barbecue sauce base for like their barbecue chicken pizza, which is really good, and a buffalo base when they bring out a buffalo pizza. How do you feel about the different bases other than tomato sauce on your pizza as a pizza guy?
If it's not red,
yeah,
not for me.
Yeah, I hear you. I do hear you because I'm the only place I'll really veer off of that is Wichita Brewing Company, and I don't mean that because they're a great sponsor of the program. That's a true statement. It's something about maybe that it's thin and crispy there that I think it's okay, but generally speaking, I'm with you. Like it's got to be red sauce for me. And they have.
I don't get the white. I know a lot of people like the white sauce. I don't get it.
Yeah, the white sauce is not as much for me. Sometimes it's not even the white sauce. It's like there's sometimes where it's like oil based, like where it's just kind of like not any sauce. And that's not good. I'll tell you what else is good. Maybe you've had this, like this would go in conjunction with red sauce is like a balsamic drizzle. Now we're all American. We all can, get down with some ranch with our pizza. Yeah, I am too. I most of the time, any flavor, I've got some ranch to dip it in. But the balsamic drizzle is pretty killer. You know what we should do? We should get our friends at the Wichita Brewing Company and we should make a Sports Daily pizza. And we'll just have to collaborate a little bit in all the different things. Who the hell knows what would end up on that? But we should work on that. We should get a Sports Daily pizza, combining all of our favorite things and make that happen at the Wichita Brewing Company. Now that is an idea. Mark that down, Max. Take it to the bosses. Take it to the appropriate people there in the building as soon as we get off the air, and let's make that happen. Let's get a Sports Daily pizza. How about that? How's that sound? What would you put on that pizza, Max? I'd have to have pepperoni. I would contribute that balsamic drizzle in there somehow, but I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to pizza.
Cheese is the gold standard. I love pepperoni.
We can't just do a pepperoni pizza, though. We got to do something else with it. Yeah. I'll tell you, I like banana peppers. I think those are a nice addition a lot of the time.
The problem with all the vegetables, the moisture.
Yep. I hear you. You can't overdo the vegetables. I would say either bell peppers or banana peppers, either good choices. Banana pepper just kind of gives it that, that little bit of a tang to it, a little twist, a little zest. I'm going to think about this a lot now, but for real, go tell all the right people, Max, that we are petitioning to create a Sports Daily pizza. At the
I tell Tommy, but he doesn't roll until noon, and I'm long done.
New gig. Just roll around, stroll around, get call the shots. Tommy's listening right now. We are having a little fun at Tommy's expense, but yeah, let's get one going. Maybe even better than that, let's have Wichita Brewing Company create a Sports Daily beer. That's probably a little more difficult to pull off, but we'll shoot for the moon.
30% alcohol.
Yeah. Put it like a Tank 7 to shame a little bit, but sure, why not? We're spitballing it here, but it's all coming for you in this hour. We're having fun in this hour. TJ will be back in tomorrow. Tonight you've got the Chris Kleiman show, as we mentioned here on KFH, but we are going to be book-to-book guests here the rest of the way in this hour. So if you have questions for the guests, send them to us on the video streams. That's the easiest way. And it'll be up first, Jaylon Thompson, our Royals insider. I'm excited about this one. I want to know what the vibe is there around the building, around the offices of what do we expect the Royals to do this offseason? The biggest question marks. We'll have it for you next. Don't go away. More Sports Daily coming right up.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Hey, hi, it's Tom, and it's Champion Window.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
Oh, welcome back in, everybody. Jaylon, if you're wondering, Wednesdays not your normal days during the season when you're with us. It is a Hawaiian shirt Wednesday. If you're wondering about the music and the festivities, that's something. Next time you'll know that on Wednesdays we wear Hawaiian shirts. You know, just to have some fun. Jaylon Thompson, Royals insider. Beat reporter for the Royals for the KC Star, joining us. It's been a minute, Jaylon. How have you been? How's the off season?
I've been good. Yeah. You know, off season is treating me well. How about you guys?
It's been good. It's been good. It's I really was kind of pulling for the Mariners there, but I can get behind Toronto and trying to take down the Dodgers. Didn't get the Royals in. I'm a Rangers fan. Didn't get either of the team I follow into the playoffs, so that was kind of a bummer. But it's been good. I think it's been an entertaining postseason. And now you get the evil Empire up against the Blue Jays, and we have a pretty compelling World Series. You satisfied with Blue Jays Dodgers?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we got. I would like to saw the Mariners get in there just to further fuel the Kyle Rowley story and them with trying to win their first World Series. But the Dodgers are a machine, and the Blue Jays are going to give it their best effort. So we'll see what happens in these 7 games if it goes that long.
Now, are you a Raleigh for MVP, Stan? Are you Team Judge?
I think I like Raleigh and what he did this year. When you do something historic like that, I think that you should be commended for it and you know, rewarded for it. So, I mean, I like what he did all year. Nothing against Judge. Judge is a great player, but he can play up those numbers every year. What Rowley did this year was incredible.
And isn't it just kind of funny how quickly and easily we dismiss what it means to be a catcher every day? Yeah. Like we went through this with Salvi the year he just went ballistic offensively and set at the time the home run record and all of those things. I remember going on and I just all I said was something as simple as he needs to be a top 3 MVP candidate, I think. And Yankee fans lost their minds. They're like, "You idiot, you don't know anything, you homer," and blah blah blah, and look at his WAR and look at his blah, 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 blah. The reason that Judge is so off the charts is because he walks a lot, and that matters. I get it. But it doesn't factor in nothing's factoring in defense. That was my point with Salvi. Then he was catching every day. Not only is Raleigh catching every day, he's as good a catcher as there is. What his first pass ball of the season came in the postseason? That's wild to me that people just gloss over that so easily. He has an impact on every single play at that position, especially. That to me is why it's not an easy choice because Judge had such a great year. But when you factor all of that in and then just pile that on top, I mean, come on now. That's
well, great. It's kind of like in the National League. If you give Shohei an extra boost because he pitches and he hits and he does it at a high level, you should do the same for Kyle Rowley, being a catcher.
100% agree. Yeah. All right, let's talk Royals, Jaylon. Well, before we do that, while we're on the World Series, the Dodgers. TJ and I got into this yesterday. The Dodgers are whatever people want to call it, ruining baseball, problem with baseball. I don't agree with that. I think it's fine. I think the problem with baseball is the small market teams that are not spending money more than I think baseball needs a salary floor more than it needs a salary cap. I also think that's a more realistic expectation. A salary cap's never going to be collectively bargained. The owners don't want it. The players don't want it. Nobody wants it. But a salary floor could be an attainable thing. Where do you fall in all that discussion?
I think they have to do it kind of sort of how the NBA does it, where you have to spend to a certain amount on a salary floor, like you said. I think in the NBA you have to spend 90% of the cap. I don't know if baseball will do something similar in that regard, but that collective bargaining agreement after 2026 is going to be huge because, like you said, owners want the salary cap, players don't, and then where they're going to meet in the middle to try to figure out this new CBA when it's going to be coming down. But like you said, something has to be done so you don't have the Dodgers having every superstar Hall of Famer to be in a team like the Tampa Bay Rays that have a guy for 4 years and then trade him away, or the Pirates do the same thing just to save money. You got to spread some of that wealth around the league, and I think that's what they'll have to figure out with that new CBA for sure.
That'll be we'll spend time. It's going to be contentious. It feels that way, and
yeah,
we can ignore it until then. All right, let's talk Royals and their offseason. So we're looking at it. Salvi's got a club option. He's made every indication he wants to play. They'll of course pick up the club option for $13.5 million for Salvador Perez. I would imagine that Michael Lorenzen and Randall Grichuk and their mutual options would not be back. And then you've got Mike Yastrzemski, Adam Frazier, and unfortunately Hunter Harvey, all walking as free agents. Outside of Salvi, do you see the return of any of those players?
I would say if I had to look at it right now, and depending on if they don't make any other moves, I could see them definitely bringing back Adam Frazier just because they love what he brings to the team, his versatility, his leadership in and outside the clubhouse. Mike Yastrzemski, they talk glowingly about what he provided. My only issue with that is he's going to be 36, 37, I believe, at that point in time. So maybe age would be a factor, but he can still play. If they choose to do the platoon thing again, then I could see him being someone from that left side of the platoon they bring back. Hunter Harvey, that's going to be interesting because he's good when he's healthy, but when he's not healthy, and that's the thing that, do you allow him to walk in free agency and try to sign him to a lower term deal, or do you try to find someone that is more available? Because as we both know, the best ability is availability, and he just hasn't been that for the Royals. But when he was out there and healthy, he was great for that bullpen. So I look at those guys, and then I just don't know about if Michael Lorenzen or Randall Grichuk comes back, because the Royals have a ton of pitching depth now. They don't have to go out and have another veteran. They have so many arms, and like I said, they're going to improve the defense in the outfield. I don't know if Randall Grichuk is that option to improving what they want to do in left field.
I don't think it is either. We'll start in the outfield then, because it is the elephant in the room. I think you've got Kyle Isbell out there. I would imagine the Royals would like to have his defense back. And then, of course, that means Jack Caglione with Vinny Pasquantino and Salvador Perez probably goes back out to right field. So we see it as one outfield spot at this point, right? Is the plan to go Isbell and Caglione? Is Isbell solidified there?
Yeah, I think basically with him being a Gold Glove finalist, and he had a great year. I don't think
he had a really nice year
in center field. I think he'll be there. Kyle Isbell's going to be there at center field. I think right field is going to be Jack Caglione to earn again. I mean, he has a good spring training. They're going to give him that role. He's their best prospect that they've had.
He's got to be it.
He's got to be there, right? So then, yeah, you're looking at left field. How do you improve that spot?
And then that's the, I don't know. I have not looked at the projected free agents for Major League Baseball yet for the outfield, but I would venture to guess, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, with the amount of money that the Royals have invested into this roster the last 2 off seasons, I cannot imagine that free agency is the track they want to take to attack left field.
Yeah. It's very top heavy, very, very top heavy. You're talking about guys like Kyle Schwarber, who's really a DH, but
that's not going to happen.
Cal Tucker, Trent Grisham, those guys are going to get deals that are probably going to be well outside of what the Royals price range is going to be for, that spot in left field. And honestly, the way the team is set up, you want to probably look at the trade market, because like I said, you have the starting pitching that you can dive into and use in a potential trade. You have some young prospects that are really, really intriguing that you can put a compelling deal together to get a guy. I wrote in a story recently, I said, if the Boston Red Sox made Jarren Duran available, I feel like that's a guy you have to look at potentially trying to go get, because he was fit in your lineup. and he can, he has this game that can play well at Kauffman Stadium. But it just depends on if there's a guy like Durant out there, or is there someone that can just fill that position? Because that's really the biggest need for the Royals. It's just you need to get an impact back any way you can.
And that's what makes this hard. I think if you're a fan, like the pool of players probably widens if the big trade is made during the season next year, right? We know that. Is the Jonathan India trade out there? Probably. But the Jonathan India trade was not an impact back. He did that thing that they thought he might do and be the leadoff hitter and all that stuff. But Jonathan India, I don't even know how secure his starting spot is next year. That wasn't some kind of like monumental trade. It kind of feels like they need that kind of trade though, Duran. And quite frankly, I think the Royals have the pieces, Jaylon, to do it. Right. Yeah. They can trade. They have so much pitching depth in the rotation. And now they have catching depth to some degree because Carter Jensen looks like he's going to be the heir apparent. He did a really nice job. That means they have two other top end catchers that they can trade. So they have all these trade pieces. Is a team really going to make that kind of impact left fielder available? I guess becomes the question. Because if they're out there, the Royals have all the ammo they need to go get somebody.
Exactly. And I think you're at a point, if you are the Royals, you have to make that trade. Whoever it is.
Totally.
Whoever you identify is the guy. If it's Duran, if you don't want him, let's say there's another outfielder out there that is really intriguing and impactful that can help in the middle of the lineup, you have to go and get that guy, because where you are right now, you had two guys that had 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. You have Bobby Witt Jr. that led the league in hits for a second consecutive year. You have three starters that you paid up. You have three other starters that are really young and improving. And you have a Chris Bubich that will be coming back that was an all-star this year. So you have all the pieces in your roster and in your organization to really be a top end team next season. But you got to probably be addition by subtraction and get the guy that can fit with the current core group of what you have with, like I said, Bobby and Michael Garcia, Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, Jack Caglione, Carter Jensen. Get another young guy that fits with them and really go after it. Because if we're not watching and we're not careful enough, you're seeing that the White Sox are getting better. They're going to only continue to add talent. You're seeing that the Guardians and the Tigers are both playoff teams,
sure,
and the Twins are, trying to figure out themselves. So it's changing, and the Royals have to stay ahead of the curve.
I mean, maybe the Twins are a good example of a team. Maybe because they know they have to rebuild, is Byron Buxton a guy that could become available?
Would they trade in the division though? That's my question.
I don't know. I mean, if you're rebuilding, I've never understood that. Why do you care? You just go get the most you can get. In the Royals, there aren't going to be very many teams in the offseason that could offer a package as attractive as, let's say it's Chris Bubich, as Chris Bubich and one of those top end catchers. I mean, and it can probably be even more than that if it needed to be. Maybe it's Bubich and Falter and one of those catchers. Like you should in theory be able to go get just about anybody you want for that kind of deal. Now Bubich is
like the Angels have Taylor Ward and Joe Adell. Either one of them would be great.
But is that a big enough hit? Like maybe Bubich for Adell straight up would be, but like when we're talking swing, I'm talking swing big here, like big. Now, and maybe that's foolish, right? With the development of Jack Caglione, now with the year under his belt. Maybe Carter Jensen gives you some. Maybe they don't need to swing that big, and that's I'm willing to accept that. I am, because we learned this year that the pitching depth is pretty valuable to have. It kept them in the race despite all the injuries. But at the end of the day, we know just contractually that Reagans and Lugo and Waka are the front end of this rotation.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Noah Cameron earned the right to be one of those guys.
Yep.
And then you have some combination of Alec Marsh, Kolek, Bergert, and Chris Bubich. You have some combination of all of those guys for one spot. Now, I don't know, like you can use them in the bullpen, but are you really going to park somebody in AAA? Like if you don't have the injuries, you have the need to go get a left fielder. That's why I think like they got to aim for the moon here on this.
I agree. Like when you had both Ryan Berger and Steven Kolek, they've proven that they really aren't AAA pitchers. They are solid MLB quality arms. They might not be top end quality arms. They might develop into that, but there's no need to have them sit in AAA just to pitch while you're waiting for an injury or someone's not performing. If, like you said, you have your top three in Reagans, Lugo, and Waka, and then a Noah Cameron and a Chris Bubich, if he's still there and back healthy and pitching as an all-star again, like you said, you have the resources to go and really impact your outfield. I think this is the year you have to do it. You look for an impact bat the last 3 years and you've struck out. So I think if you identify one and you identify the right hitting coaches that can come in with help Alex Zumwalt, you have to go for it. I think this is the year. I really do, where you have to go find that bat. That's the number one priority. I wouldn't really look too much at bullpen, even though you got Carlos Estevez and you got a great bullpen, right? If you find another arm, great. But this is the year you go all in to get that bat, wherever it is, because I think that's the biggest thing that you have to get.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they're set. They really are. They're set in the bullpen. You could get a high impact arm, I suppose, but you've got 8-9 locked up in a group of guys who are going to be fine. I mean, maybe they can go after an old head too in free agency. Got Eugenio Suarez will be out there, or somebody else in the outfield. Maybe they can just spend a little money. I don't know, but they've got a roster that's almost completely set if they started the season tomorrow. There is one hole. That's it. One hole. And they have a strength to go get it. Follow Jaylon's work on it. We didn't have time to talk stadium, which is okay. Everybody's just saying they've got the best option. But it is something that we can discuss at a later date. Jaylon, as we get through the World Series and get there, we'll have you back in real quick with just a few seconds left. Give us your World Series prediction.
Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in 6. I don't like hearing that. I'm going to call it Blue Jays in 7. Just stubbornly, I think. I don't want to see the streak of no back-to-back champions broken, and I want to see the Blue Jays get it done. It's a great fan base. Jaylon, we appreciate it. Thanks for hopping in here today. Good to catch up and kind of set the table for what could be coming in the next few months.
For sure, Jacob. Anytime, man. I'm excited, and let's see what the worlds do.
Follow along at Jaylon Thompson on X. Follow his work at the KC Star. Happy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday, Jaylon. Yeah, gotta go.
Sir. I'll wear mine next time on Wednesday.
Or wear it any day. It's there's never a bad day to wear a Hawaiian shirt. I just appreciate that you have one. Some of these other lame-os don't even have one. Thanks, Jaylon. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Jacob.
There goes Jaylon Thompson. Glad to have Jaylon in. Good to hear from him. Good to get right. Pro Hills fans, you got to be excited. You got to be excited right now. We'll come back. We got more Sports Daily. Shreyas Laddha in next to help us get ready for the Sunflower Showdown. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And welcome back in, everybody. It is Shreyas Laddha in now, joining us on Sports Daily here on this Wednesday. Happy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday to Shreyas and everybody out there listening to the show. Shreyas will pop over to Kansas City, I'm sure, today for Big 12 Media Days. We had TJ on for that. We can talk a little KU hoops in a minute, Shreyas, but right now you're in football season and all eyes are on a Sunflower Showdown. KU trying to bust a 16-year losing streak in a game where, look, they're favored. I don't know if they've been favored any other years in the losing streak. I don't have that information, but I would imagine it's unlikely. But this year they are favored. And that creates a different kind of energy and a different kind of buzz, a dangerous kind of buzz, I guess, if you're KU to walk in that way. But what do you make of it? What's your bird's eye look at this thing?
I mean, if they're not favored this year, I don't know what year they'd be favored, right? This is the worst Kansas State team I've seen since I've been on the beat. It's been it'll be 3 years in December since I joined the Star. So, there's a lot of question marks going into this game. And, I think it could really go either way with the way Kansas has been playing as of late and some of their issues they have. And the fact that Kansas State seems to have figured out some things in the last couple of weeks. But, newly renovated booth, KU favored, best season Jaylon Daniels has had at quarterback. If you're a Kansas fan, you have to feel like this is the year, if there is a year, to break the streak, that it has to happen after 2 straight close losses.
Yeah, it does, but I mean, it feels dangerous to me because KU has played well. KU, I think, is at least at expectations, if not a little bit exceeded this year. But KU's not a juggernaut and hasn't been playing flawlessly either. And I just don't think there's a huge difference between KU and K-State this year. The best news for KU is that Dylan Edwards is doubtful at best. If you look at what KU does well and does not do well, defending the run is a major problem for them. And we've seen out of Kansas State a struggle to run the ball when Dylan Edwards isn't on the field. So, like, if I'm looking for things to make KU fans happy, I'm like, look, you don't stop the run very well, but they don't have Dylan Edwards. That's got to be a good thing for KU's chances.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I was talking to Carter Stanley about it. I was, filming our Rock Chalk Film Room segment. It was the entire focus was on how KU's defense needs to stop the run game. I mean, they're allowing almost 200 yards a game coming into the Saturday. And, yeah, which is nuts. It's like it's the worst run defense I've seen KU have. And I think it's the worst run defense KU's had since I've been on the beat, to be honest. They're
ranked like 118th right now in the nation. It's bad.
It is really bad. And, my worry is I don't think it really matters if Dylan Edwards plays or not, because we've seen a bunch of no-name backs play really well against Kansas. No disrespect to those guys. But, I mean, some of these guys that have ran for 100-plus yards, they were not even the first-string running back against Kansas. So I think the big thing is, I asked Lance Leipold about it on Monday, and he's like, it's a combination of different things of why they've been struggling in the run game, gap integrity, lack of communication, bad tackles, angles, basically everything you can think of, he made sure to mention, which does not inspire much confidence to me in a sense, because I still think KU is going to struggle to stop the run game, especially because Avery Johnson is a dual threat quarterback. As DK McDonald said, the best among the best in the nation, which I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment, but you know how it is. As defense coordinators, I love to fawn up the opponents before they play them. But yeah, I think if KU lets K-State get it off hot and early in Lawrence with a couple big runs, it is going to be a difficult night for Kansas because you just want the defense off the field as much as you can. You need a control time of possession. I think K-State has lost all but I think 1 or 2 games where they haven't won time of possession.
Yeah, I get, but then at the other side, and I thought this, and what's interesting is last year in Big 12, the door kind of creeped open, probably more for K-State than KU, who's left on the schedule. But K-State is playing better. They should have beat Baylor. That's the thing that I was surprised to see KU favored. I'll be perfectly honest. It did surprise me a little bit. Avery Johnson has been, he's been good as a passer all year. Now he's starting to run a little bit. I think it's a dangerous spot for KU, and we'll see. Jaylon Daniels got to be Superman again. KU run the ball to try to limit K-State's offense at all? Can they establish a run game? Jaylon's been so good and so efficient as a passer. I just don't are they going to be able to bring a running element to this game?
I think there's got to be. Highshaw is back. You need him. Him being fully healthy helps the run game a lot because then you can kind of rotate between him and LaShawn Williams. And obviously, you see Jaylon keeper a decent amount. I think they will be. I think I was obviously against Texas Tech. KU just had issues all around. But I think when you look back and watch all the games Kansas struggled in, you can look at the Missouri and Texas Tech games. They were just dominated on the line play. I don't think K-State has tremendously better line play or worse line play. Like, I think it's pretty even across the board
I agree with
for
that.
both sides. So I feel like that, knowing that, Kansas has done enough in the run game with like non-Texas Tech, non-Missouri type line play. I expect Kansas to put up 100, 150 yards on the ground, just because I think, having Daniel Highshaw back, LaShawn Williams back will help a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a big key. I think if they can keep Avery off the field, I don't know. I have this weird, I don't know. I have a weird feeling about the game getting a little squirrely and strange, but we'll see it at 11 o'clock. Let's talk a little hoops here as we get ready for Big 12 Media Day today. I was talking to TJ about this as he was driving up earlier. It's funny, like KU, I almost think we are taking for granted the ease at which Hunter Dickinson provided offense for this team over the last 3 years. This can't be Darren Peterson goes and takes 20 shots a game. Flory Badunga is not going to be some offensive force. I mean, he'll be better, I think, but he's the freak athlete. He's so good defensively, all that stuff. Where is the offense outside of Peterson coming from this roster this year?
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking a guy like Cole Rosario, if he plays extended minutes, he's going to have to come in and score, especially shoot. They don't have a lot of shooters. I mean, Jaden Dawson is their best shooter on the team right now. I think he's the only guy that shot above 33% in college ball last year. He's going to be a guy that's going to have to come in and help complementary shooting. Melvin Council, another guy, kind of a dog in that sense, get the dirty work, get points, putbacks, etc., playing great defense, turn defense to the offense. I don't think there's necessarily like a number two right now. I mean, I guess you could say Flory is your number two, and I think Flory will probably average a double-double just because.
That's not going to be good, though, is it? Like, if Flory's the second leading scorer on this team, that doesn't seem reasonable.
I think he's just going to get a lot of easy points,
Well, sure. He's big, right? And
yeah. So I think, just the attention Darren Peterson's going to command, Flory's going to end up averaging like 15 and 10 or something like that, right? Like, I don't think it's. I think he'll average
15 would be awesome. I guess I'm not giving him enough credit there.
I just think it's because of the way this Kansas team is spread, they're going to have to rely on Flory to score inside. I mean, he's been working his jump shot. I've heard this since before he arrived on campus last year. That's something that he's pulled out. I talked to a few guys about that in practice. Obviously, I don't expect him to come out there and be, cashing 10-footers or 15-footers or whatever, but I expect Florida to have more of an offensive load. I think Melvin Council is going to have to help out there. Marco Jackson, when he plays extended minutes, he's going to have to help out. He's going to have to create some offense. I think one of the big things when I look at this roster is, you're right. I mean, who's going to create the secondary offense? And I don't really know the answer to that question until we start playing, to be honest, because I feel like there are guys who can help out on offense, but I don't really see a guy who could be the number two, right? Cole Rosario has the potential to be that guy. And I don't know, you saw Joe Rothstein's lineup prediction. He had Cole Rosario starting, which is kind of nuts, but it tells you how much he's risen. And if he ends up being a guy who's starting, that means to me two things. He's a really good complementary player around Peterson, which is what I've heard, what has Peterson said, and from other people. And I've heard the same thing. And number two, he's shooting the heck out of the ball at practice, and he has really good athleticism. So he could be a guy that, he went from a reclass guy. I know he's initially a 25 guy who went to 26 and then reclassed back to 25. That could be on the radar of scouts, because right now, the way the team is set up, it's a bunch of the Darren Peterson show, like Cooper Flag show last year, except probably times 5 that, just because, KU doesn't have the offense that they had around Cooper Flag. Yeah. And a couple of question marks on who is secondary, like who his Robin will be.
Well, Rick, one of our listeners, asked the question earlier, 2-15 from 3 at late night from the Fog. shooting the three has been an Achilles heel for this team for as long as you've been on the beat. I mean, they haven't been able to shoot the three for a long time, something that KU has always, seemed to hang its hat on. They haven't been able to do that in a while. And I don't know that that's going to change this year.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wrote about it in my takeaways. I was like, not to alarm anybody, but last year they couldn't shoot in Late Night in the Fog, and then it was a promotion of what was to come almost. Yeah, I hate to be like the guy that always says 3-point shooting is important, but I feel like that's the guy I've become on this beat because, unfortunately, 3-point shooting is very important, and you can't shoot 2 of 15. I don't think they're going to be 2 of 15 bad this year, but there's just a lot of question marks for me about the shooting. I just don't really know how good some of these guys actually are. On paper, Darren Peterson, Cole Rosario should be plus shooters from beyond the arc, but they, again, haven't played a minute of college ball. If Darren Peterson is shooting 32 or 33% from three instead of 36, 37%, that's kind of a issue to me. Same thing with Cole Rosario. You need him to be shooting 36 plus. They don't have a single player on the roster outside of Jaden Dawson that shot above 33%. I mean, Melvin Townsend, absolute dog that he is, he shot 32.9% from three last year, I'm pretty sure. They're going to have to get some shooting for some guys having some aberration years, and you're going to have to hope some of the freshmen that you brought in can come in and provide some shooting as well.
I don't know. I'm not ready for that. I don't have the energy for another bad shooting year, to be perfectly honest. We are putting a lot of pressure on a freshman. That's all. That's what it feels like to me. We're putting a whole lot of pressure on a freshman.
Listen, if he's the guy everyone says he is, it won't matter. I mean,
it just that's not been a formula though in college basketball. I mean, Cooper Flagg had a all-star lineup around him, but Zion Williamson, when we see these guys, they need more, and we'll see. KU may have it. It's unknown for everybody. Follow Shreyas' work at the KC Star. He'll have Media Day covered today, and of course, the Sunflower Showdown. Shreyas, we appreciate it.
Thanks.
There goes Shreyas Laddha at SHRE98 on X. We'll come right back. Got a little more Sports Daily before we don't go away.